took a shot. I am here with my main man, Mr. Comeover, from the Microsoft Corp, and we're here talking about economics.
It's very nice to be here, sir. I'm really eager to answer any questions you might have about the economy and economic principles.
So, let me ask you, this bloke here, this little kid, this geezer, is about to let loose on this dragon and introduce dragons into the public. How do you think that's going to impact his society?
Well, you see, that's a very interesting point that we have right here, because this is the first introduction of dragons into the society, who, before this point, thought that dragons were really kind of rude and mad and not very good things to have around. But you see, the turning point here is that we find that dragons are to be quite useful, and in doing so, we find that this creates a new supply and a new product to feature to its people that can help them change and revolutionize the things that they do in their society and how they approach the way that they, go about doing their daily things. They protect their village, or they go out and forage for different products or things that they might need. And it introduces another companion into their society.
Proper. So you're telling me that these geezers didn't believe that dragons could help them out, but now that they realize they can help them out, that it's going to change their economics?
It is. Before this point, they thought that the dragons were detrimental to their economy. And, they were all...
I mean, look at him. He's darting around. How is that dangerous? Him can't even fly straight. How is that dangerous?
See, this is the turning point.
This geezer's got a knife. How is he not dangerous?
We find here that, he's not necessarily finding out that the dragon is dangerous as much as it's just like him. He's just as frightened of the dragon that he is.
Who is this bloke? Right here. Looks like Gimli from Lord of the Rings. Except he's not small. How does he fit in here? I mean, is he going to be the one that increases the technology in society to compensate for these geezers finding dragons?
We see here, in this instant right here, this is going to be the father, the Gimli character that you referred to earlier. And he's not necessarily going to be entirely in favor of using the dragons to enhance their society and perpetuate them towards, different things that they might not have been able to do before the dragons were around. So in doing so, you increase another level that can have impact onto your society and how you can do things with your life.
Wait a second, I'm sorry, I got caught up in the movie. This is a proper movie, and I'm kind of interested in it. So, you're telling me that this little geezer is going to change society by bringing this black dragon, who is apparently dangerous, into society? I mean, look at him, this bloke's got an axe. How is that not dangerous? But them dragons is more dangerous than this bloke with an axe. I mean, he's little, but he could take a leg off. I mean, how come them don't supply and demand their axes? What, is he stumped? Mate, you're supposed to be like proper smart.
We see with the axes, it's already a commodity that they have, and they've reached the plateau of their demand for this commodity. Now with the dragons and the introduction of the dragons into their society, it's a new item. It's something that revolutionizes the way that they see their society and the way that they can do things to protect themselves. Rather than using something fundamental as an axe, they can use something that's just groundbreaking, like riding a dragon and using its abilities.
But how is them going to ride a dragon and use their abilities?
Well, that's going to be, the advancement of technology to figure out ways that you can ride dragons, like creating something like a saddle that we might see later on in the film, and using those things to really harness the full potential of each and individual dragon and their various characteristics that they might have.
Respect. So that's like taking my cutlass and putting hydros on it to up the street cred. I mean, is that not proper? Are you laughing at my cutlass? Mate, it's parked outside. I can go get it.
No, seriously, you see, I'm not laughing at the colors. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what happens. Is you increase, the technology behind a product, and you allow yourself to better market it to the people, and you increase their demand by doing so. Because at this point in time, it becomes something that they can harness the power of each individual dragon.
Respect. So these cats, these blokes is gonna be at the end of this movie riding around in pimped out cutlasses like mine.
It's quite possible. However, they won't be riding around in a pimped out cutlass, sir. They'll be riding around on their new commodity, which are the dragons.
Respect that this geezer brought in. So them other geezers should be like right respectful of this little bloke right here that discovered these dragons. Boy, look at that fat one right there. I don't know about that guy. He looks kind of squirrely. But anyways, they should be mad respectful of this cat for bringing in these dragons and changing their society and changing the supply and demand for them.
Yes, however, right now in this instance right here, there's a bit of a learning curve because you're trying to bridge the gap from non-dragons to using dragons to their full potential. And in a society where they're brought up to be scared of dragons, they normally revert back to their rudimentary means of protection by axes, spears, bows, things of that nature. Whereas now he's trying to show the people that you can use dragons to do these things in a much more fashionable sense.
So this is like driver's ed for dragons. So when I wanted to learn how to roll around hard in me cutlass and pimp out my rod, they's going through the same thing, learning how to use these dragons. So this is like Dragon's Ed.
Yes, in fact it is. They're learning how to harness the full potential using new technology to, use these dragons to, perpetuate the advancements of their society. Now, with the introduction of a dragon into society, it's going to create a lot of demand because as soon as people learn to accept these dragons for what they are and the full potential of these dragons, they'll soon learn that they're quite useful. They can use them for everyday things, travel, gathering things, and sheer protection whenever the time might come. Should they need to, they have the use of the dragons. And as we saw earlier, they seem that they can be quite dangerous if you need to.
That's what's up. So that's like me and my homies rolling around, lapped up and ready to roll just in case something bad happens. They's protecting themselves by using these flying geezers.
That's very correct. With the advancement of technology, and we'll see that later on, like I said, right here we have that transitional phase of we're learning that dragons are not really different from
look at him. He
human
looks
beings.
like he's drunk.
No, he just can't fly. He just can't fly.
What good is a dragon that can't fly?
Well, that's where the technology comes in. You see here, he's about to draw up a design of the dragon and realize that he's missing one of his back tails. So, with this being said, to correct this issue, he has to, advance the technology of his people and figure out a way that he can harness the full potential of this dragon, as it's handicapped right here as we see in that drawing.
Proper. So Ims is gonna help this dragon by using technology.
That's correct. And in doing so, he can, furthermore, ease the transition of using dragons in his community and show the people that, they're just not so bad.
Respect. How's that long enough?